Hello, hello, good morning, and welcome on another fine Thursday. Whew. This topic is timely for me right now. We are feeling it. Things are crazy up in here with so many transitions coming up, and everything has fallen to the wayside. So, this is a good conversation for me to remind myself of some things to do to make it through these next couple of weeks. But let's run the intro. We'll bring Susan on and we will just jump right into it today. Hi, I'm Nicole, and as you have probably guessed, I have ADHD. I live and breathe all things ADHD in my personal, family, and professional life. I have a background in psychology and special education, and I've gained a lot of knowledge over the years about ADHD, what it really is, how it touches every aspect of your life and the life of your child, as well as a wealth of information and strategies for living with ADHD and parenting kids with ADHD. In this community, we share stories, we learn together, and we support each other as we navigate all things ADHD. Welcome. Hello, friend. How are you?
I'm so glad to see you. I am doing very well this morning.
Excellent. You've had a bit of a busy time the last week or so.
Oh, I have. It's been just wonderful talking to people about the book, talking to people about where things are going. Oh, thank you so much for having it there. I have it right behind me here on the screen now. And it looks like we might get a drop or two of rain here in Colorado the next few days, which is much welcome.
Yeah, we've had some here. We've had lovely August summer monsoon type rain, which is
Oh,
we need it, but it doesn't all need to come down at the same time.
yes, that's the problem with monsoon. By definition, that's what
Right.
monsoon means.
Yeah, it's been interesting. It throws loops in a few marching band schedules, but that's all
Oh,
right.
yes, I'm sure. And when is school starting for your lovely children?
Next week.
Sounds exciting.
Yes, and we've been moving out my oldest son, helping get him transitioned off to college, which is weird and it's messing with everybody a little bit.
I'm sure change
Everyone's
is
got big
hard.
feelings and transitions, and so it's been a bit of a roller coaster the last couple of weeks with everybody here, which is in
Yeah.
addition to the normal end of summer roller coastering, which is our topic today, which
Yes.
I have deemed the summer slump. So this is how it happens in our household and how I've seen in many households. We start out the summer with all of the intentions, right? We have all the plans, we have the schedules, we have the routines. Everyone's got their extracurriculars, swimming lessons, maybe they're going to a summer camp, all of that. And then that goes really well for about 6 weeks. And then we usually have a family vacation or two in there, family reunion. By the time we get back from that, everything falls apart. The extracurriculars for the summer are over, summer programs have wrapped up, and now we're all have spent 2 months together and everyone's losing their marbles. So, including me.
Yes.
Especially, as I work from home and trying to, keep everyone doing their things and do all of my work, it becomes a lot. And all of those very well-planned routines and structures and things just I don't have the stamina to keep them all up anymore, and the kids are over it, and that doesn't help. So, I'm sure that there are many of our viewers that find themselves in similar situations. So that's kind of what we want to talk about today is this natural summer slump that happens to everybody as kind of those things that we've put in place to make it through the summer start to fall apart and no longer be keeping us afloat, and how do we make it through kind of these last few weeks of summer without us all just at each other's throats.
I love how you're really making it sound so easy. At each other's throats. We're losing our marbles. Everyone's falling apart.
It is the last like 3 weeks of summer
Yes,
have always
are
been
hard.
the hardest time of year for me.
Well, I
Just
want to
my
make it
own
a
mental
little
health.
worse.
I'm like, I
And
can't
can I
anymore.
make it worse? I'm going to make it worse.
You bet.
So, what I also want to tell you is there's actually some comprehensive research. The earliest study I found was in 1996 that shows that kids, particularly at the elementary school level, and I'll say why in a minute, actually lose 20 to 25% of their academic growth
Mm-hmm.
over the summer. And that's not just in these last 3 weeks, because suddenly all the routines we put together are suddenly turned off. Like, it's not that we on purpose said, oh, we're not going to plan anything fun for these last 3 weeks of
Oh, it
summer,
just starts
which
to
is what
creep
what
away.
you're talking about. But in fact, academics kind of, it's like in one ear, it drains out the other over the course of the whole 11 weeks of the summer. And younger children, kindergarten, first and second grade, in particular in these research studies, lose more over the summer academically than kids in middle school and high school, because in reality, they learn more during school than kids in middle and high school, according to the research that I looked up for this.
That makes sense.
And that's because they have so much more to learn. Now,
Right.
it could sound crazy, especially our high schoolers, especially the twice exceptional kids that we talk about a lot in here, Nicole, who are learning chemistry, biology, literature, psychology. But first, second, and third graders are learning the basics, the foundational information that they need to be able to
Yeah.
learn that other stuff when they're older. And over the summer, if we parents haven't taken steps to be able to maintain some of that knowledge over the summer, our kids forget. And so the first month, even of coming back to school, teachers have to do a lot of relearning. We have to reteach stuff that's been taught over the previous year. And the research actually says 20% of reading and 27% of math is lost over the summer. So it's not just our social emotional learning that's lost, but it's
Sure.
our actual academic learning that's lost. So one of the things, Nicole, that I want to make sure we put on our schedule for next May and June is what we can do to help prepare families better for this next summer, particularly some of our younger kids. Let kids read more over the summer. My son, in particular, only wanted math workbooks over the summer. He loved going into, we have this wonderful teacher bookstore here called The Bookies. And he just devoured math workbooks. That was his, play of choice when he was um, a little kid. But some of the things I know you do with your kids, Nicole, and my kids did because they went to summer camps, being active. So this last couple weeks before school starts, exercise, get out of the house. Don't slump around playing on your phone. Don't slump around watching screens. A lot of parents are kind of tired themselves. So
Right.
they
And
want
that's what happens
their
at my
kids,
house. We kind
right?
of default to just, it's fine. Just you can have
You know,
more video game
slump on
hours. You
what in
can.
front of a screen, the TV, that actually deactivates our brain and doesn't help them get ready to go back to school. So but unfortunately, the monsoons might make it difficult in my state and your state of Utah and Colorado. But getting exercise and being in the sunshine can help stimulate our brains, the research says. So that's a really important finding. This is a wonderful time to start visiting museums. Visit places that you've seen in movies or in books. Go visit some, this is not necessarily the time to take the biggest vacations. You've come back from doing that.
Right.
That's why we're all so tired. Right? But
Yep.
maybe this is a time to visit some locations that are local, that maybe are more interesting, that you haven't gotten to yet, but are related to some of the creative spaces you've been reading about or learning about and you haven't gotten to. So, stimulating imagination is an important thing to be doing these last couple of weeks of the summer. This is not the time to be couch potatoes.
Right.
The research is really, really clear about that.
Which is really hard because it's the time we want to be couch potatoes because we've been going and going and going for months, right?
I know.
And sometimes that screen is just like,
It's
okay,
so hard.
you guys go play video games together and then you won't be at each other's throats.
I know.
Maybe we'll stop fighting as much.
And this is really, really funny. Lego sets came up on my list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let them, not just the really complex ones, though this is a really good time where they could do that, like following directions for a complex Lego set. That's a great way to stimulate imagination because guess what? It teaches executive functioning skills.
The great thing about Lego is you can go on their website or they have an app and they have all of the instructions for every Lego set that has ever been released that you can access for free.
Really? So if you lose the directions?
If you lose the directions, or like we have collected a lot of Legos over the years. So we have, it might not be the right color, but we have a ton of pieces. And so my kids will go and find something that they want to build, and they might not be able to make it look exactly like the picture because the piece is a different color, but they can find different shaped pieces and build all kinds of Lego sets, all of those. So you don't have to keep all the instruction books, number one. And number two, they can go and build something else. It is all available.
Okay. So where do we find this? Tell me again.
Let me find the link. There is an app.
My 27-year-old son who's about to get married is a Lego maniac.
Awesome.
He never wanted to take any of the sets apart. He has them displayed in my house. He has them displayed in his adult apartment. And we still have drawers and drawers of Legos.
Yeah, we have them in.
I want to tell him this. He's going to come raid my house.
It's great. And my kids are like, they will build the set and then they like to tweak it and add to it and take it apart and build other things. So now we have 3 giant under the bed bins full of Lego.
I'm going to give him boxes of Legos for Hanukkah.
Perfect.
With these instructions. And now instead of buying him new ones, he can rebuild his old ones. What a brilliant holiday present. Link.
But there is an app because my son has it on his iPad.
So brilliant.
Let me see if I can find it. But they are all available. I know, we just love Lego for our
just realized that I forgot to start streaming this to my audience, so I'm doing this right now. What to do between end of summer and start of school. And I'm setting it up right now because, of course, I have to do this. How could I forget something so important? So I am repeating this for my audience. If you have thousands of Legos, as Nicole and I both do, but
And
you don't
most
have the
families with
instructions.
neurodivergent kids do.
Oh my God, I'm sending this to my 27-year-old because I still have one of those 5-drawer huge things full of Legos with no instructions. I'm giving it over to my 27-year-old and say, here, start over.
Mm-hmm.
Build new Legos out of old. This is great. Great plan.
Okay, so on the website online, I'm copying this and putting the link in
Thank you,
the
Nicole.
chat right now. But if you just Google free Lego instructions, it will lead you to that page.
So good.
Here we go. But then, like I said, they do have an app, and the app is awesome because they can scroll through. I mean, every Lego set that's ever been released is available.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, on these rainy days, this will stimulate your child's imagination.
Yep. The other thing we like to do with Lego is there are some free apps for phones and tablets for stop motion video. And my kids love to create little movies, and they can add sound effects, and they create little stop motion videos with their Lego creations.
Yes.
So
again, hobbies and interests, we may be too tired to go on. We just came back from our big vacations. Your kids may have just come back from summer camps. But what we want to avoid in this 2 or 3 weeks between the end of camps and vacations and the beginning of school is we want to avoid becoming couch potatoes. This is not a good time to fall into, scrolling on video games, endlessly binging Netflix or anything else. We want to keep our kids' minds stimulated, and we want to keep their bodies active. So this is time to go to local parks. Here in Colorado, there in Utah, tons of national parks to go visit. Yep. This is time for bike riding. This is time for keeping some level of exercise going and some time of brain stimulation. Mm-hmm. This is a great time for hobbies. I see people are talking about flower sets. You see the Lego flowers my daughter
I've got one back there that I need to put together.
Right? So Legos are a great occupation. Knitting, crocheting, painting, okay? Any kind of hobbies that your kids might be interested in, this is the time for that. All right. Magnet sets are fabulous. Any type of construction sets. We already talked about reading and math workbooks for kids who are interested in those kinds of things.
Have you seen the cardboard construction tools?
So amazing.
We have they comes with the set of little screws and things. Yep. There's like a saw and everything, and they can.
Excuse me a second.
There's plenty of Amazon boxes coming around this time of year full of school supplies. So we have lots of cardboard around.
Oh, I lost a marble. I'll have to find it. So here's an example of those fabulous little cardboard sets. This is a working marble run. You turn the little knob, the wheel turns, the marbles go up and down and through the whole set.
This okay, but have you seen these? Let me pull this
several
up.
Hours to make. My family loves them.
Look, that's not what I meant to do. Stop
it. Watch your language, Nicole.
I just said stop it.
But
let's see.
Construction kits, this is the time for those things. We want to keep our minds and bodies active. Doesn't mean we can't have screen time. Doesn't mean we don't give digital time. Doesn't mean a little nap every afternoon for a couple hours isn't good for all of us. But what we want to say to our kids is that we still need to keep, yes, oh, these are wonderful.
My son loves these.
It's a lovely kid. Look at that dinosaur. They're
So
fabulous.
it's got, this one's a saw, and this one is like a scoring,
X-Acto
so you
knife.
can bend it.
Yeah,
And they're just cardboard, they're not going to cut your hand up. And
they're
this one is a
fabulous.
little screwdriver, and then it comes with all these little screws, and so they
Yes.
can build all kinds of
Oh my
things
God.
out of
I see
cardboard.
Halloween costumes getting started right
We
now.
have many, many robots. My son loves to make robot costumes, but you can make so many fun things out of them. So these are great.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, practicing dance. I already mentioned bike riding. This is the time of year where yes, we parents, it's a little short notice that we're talking about it to you today, but there's still time. There's time to plan these kinds of things. There's time to think about what would stimulate our children's brains and bodies, because slump, by definition, is not a
Mm-hmm.
good thing for our kids.
Right.
Now, they would complain, especially our teens,
Yes.
right? Our teens are going to complain. But school is coming. I don't want to exercise my brain. There's a difference between fun exercising our brain. I mean, yes, I
And
showed
yeah,
you
chores.
marble run. My my teens watching this thing is mesmerizing. Every adult who walks into my office wants to watch the marbles go round and round. It's very hard to get their attention away from it. But we've built a clock. I actually have a carousel behind this screen. There's a full-blown carousel. And my husband built a locomotive.
Of course.
And they're all punch out. It's just a sheet of cardboard.
Yeah.
It's a pre-scored. You just punch out the pieces, but building it takes some effort,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So one thing I think I would recommend, and that we've tried, but we have not done this for our end of summer yet because things just got. Our end of summer has changed the last few years because when we get back from all of our vacations, then band camp starts. So at
Yes,
least the teenagers are occupied at that point.
yes,
So we're
yes.
having a little bit less of a problem with it over the last 2 years, and that's been great because they come the last week of July, they are busy. But one thing we've done in the past is kind of that when we get back from all those vacations and the kids don't want to get back into all of our routines where, I make my kids do some learning in the summer. They have to read, they have to do a little bit of math practice every other day, and then I have to pick one thing that they want to learn or something that they think that they are not as strong at that they want to work on. It might be typing, it might be some science thing they want to learn about. They have to do some kind of learning, and then they have their list of chores or whatever. By the time we kind of get into this phase, trying to get them to get back to those routines after the vacations, but when there's only a couple of weeks till school starts, doesn't work. So what we'll do is we'll sit down and we'll be like, okay, what are the things that you thought you wanted to do this summer that we haven't done yet? Have we not been to the water park or the aquarium, or what things would you still like to do? And then we get them on the calendar. So that helps us to kind of have things to look forward to. We know what's coming. And then it is time to start figuring out getting to bed at the same time every night. And I'm having my teens, instead of me giving them a to-do list every day, the thing that they have to do in the morning is make a list of what they think they need to do today. Do they need to practice their instrument? Do they have a load of laundry they need to do? And not making it coming from me and being as rigid, but at least getting them to start thinking in that way of school's coming
Mhm,
and I need to do a few things.
mhm. It's such a good plan, getting back into the school routines and starting to
Mm.
practice them. But before I say more about that, I was going to share a quote that I thought was great. Anne
Perfect.
Lamott, who is a famous novelist, she wrote something that I thought was really applicable here. Said, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. And my husband, of course, who is the computer person in our family, whenever something seizes up on the computer or on your phone, I bet everyone in your family says the same thing, Nicole. Everyone I
Turn it off,
know
turn it back
says it.
on.
Turn it off and turn it back on. And I want to say that to our kids too. If you have a grumpy, cranky, hungry kid, don't push them through it. Unplug them. Send them off to be a couch potato for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let them lie down.
Right.
Send them outside for a little sunshine.
Yeah.
Unplug
Yeah.
them.
As important as it is to, like, not let the slump become all we do, I also, like, want to make sure we're giving parents a little bit of grace to the fact that we do all feel this, and that if you
Yeah.
have been like, forget it, today you guys play as many video games as you want, that's okay too. Just try not to
Right.
make that the only thing you do.
So that have, what adults might call, I'm taking a mental health day. I cancel my
Right.
clients in my meetings every now and again and say, my brain is full. I can't think anymore. I can't be on for my clients. Um, Acknowledge it. Don't push through your fatigue and your exhaustion because even our kids feel that way sometimes. And take that break. Let our kids take that break
Yeah.
and acknowledge that they might have some anxiety or some tension about starting school and let them rest. And
Mhm.
then say, okay, this afternoon we'll pick it up again.
Yeah. I do find during this kind of end of summertime are times that I have some really good conversations, especially with my teens. Usually they're late at night. Everyone just kind of stays up a little later in the summer, and we will just chat. And so while things can be really, really hard, it's also sometimes that slower pace is helpful for that connection piece that we've been talking about recently too.
Exactly. Exactly. So I guess summer slump, while it can lead to loss of academic learning, loss of social emotional learning, it can also lead to be a signal to us that we have to recharge a little, that
Right.
it's okay to take that time off. And then we can say, okay, I rested. Now, just like what made me think of this is my iPad that I'm using to hold this research in front of me is down to 30%. And I thought, oh, I better grab my charger so I can finish out this
Yeah.
discussion with Nicole, right? With my notes in front of me. And I thought, sometimes we have to do that to our kids and to
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yep.
We can't be on the go all the time. We have to do that for our kids as well.
Yeah. So it can be tricky to find that balance, but I think really the biggest piece that gets you through that time is the intentionality of it, right? It's
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
we're going to take some breaks and we're going to do these things and we're going to maybe read a book together and we're going to pull out some crafts we haven't had out in a little while and get us through
Yeah.
some of those days while also being mindful of we're going to try and stimulate our brains, we're going to try and get some exercise, but not to do it. It does. So when you're starting your summer, you're planning, okay, this is the routine we're going to stick with for 3 months, right? Now I got 2 weeks to fill.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be this huge routine, but what intentionally can we do with these last 2 weeks that is not just hiding from the world and waiting for it to be over and holding
Yes.
on by the skin of our teeth?
And now let's take into account also how incredibly hot this summer has been.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And heat
Yes.
actually saps our energy, our physical energy and our emotional energy. And
Mm-hmm.
so, where we might have in the past years just said, go play in the backyard, this was not a good summer for doing that because heat actually makes it harder to think. Sweat makes it harder to think. We're much crankier. I don't know about you, but I think most kids don't get along as well when it's hot outside,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so sending our kids out to play without adult supervision has not been the panacea that it has been in many previous summers because
Yeah.
it's just been too hot. And
Mm-hmm.
so
And they get
sending them out,
dehydrated and they get angry.
I've had to drink. My family has been yelling at me all summer that I have not been drinking as much, and it's been bad
Mm-hmm.
for me as well. And so this has not been as easy a summer as it might have been other years.
Yeah.
And so we have had to pay much more attention to that, to keeping cool. Our air conditioner went out on Sunday.
Oh no.
So it's been just dreadful. We had to have them come in, and we're having a renovation done. So I really pity the poor workman who's been in my bathroom Monday and Tuesday, ripping out my master bath without too much in the way of air conditioning. It was just, poor man was dripping with sweat. And of course, fortunately, I have a second bathroom on the same level, so he could go, rinse off his arms and face every few hours. But my house has been disgustingly hot. I think it might have been cooler outside. But it's very hard on our kids who haven't had the shade and cooler off days that some summers have given us.
Yeah.
We have to take that into account as well. And here in Colorado, there are still a substantial number of schools that don't have air conditioning.
Mm.
So that's going to be hard as we return to school.
Yeah.
And we have to think about, as we talk about this summer slump, not all kids are returning to air conditioned buildings. We have to think about sending our kids with more water, with lighter clothes. It's going to be difficult for them too.
Yeah. And possibly thinking about trying to get them a little acclimated before, it's one thing with marching band that they really emphasize in the few week breaks that they have in July is you better be getting outside in the heat of the day. Otherwise, when you show up for 12 hours of band camp and it's 98 degrees, your body's not going to be able to handle it.
That's
So if
right.
we know our kids are heading to a building that is not going to be air conditioned, maybe we
Turn
need
down your
to
air conditioning, everybody.
make it a little warmer in our own homes during
Yeah.
the day at least. I can't sleep if it's too hot. So
Yes, it's very difficult. It's very difficult, but we have to be thinking about what are our kids going back to, and
yeah.
not keeping our houses at 68 degrees if they're going to go into schools. Someone's asking what sunscreen our kids
Okay.
like.
So
Really good
this has
question.
been a huge process for my oldest in
My
particular, getting
oldest,
him
who's
to wear
autistic and
sunscreen
has
for
sensory
band
issues,
camp.
so I know
So
what
we
my
have a
kid can
few.
tolerate. What do you
There's
use?
one from Trader Joe's that is just a face sunscreen that is very, very, very lightweight. It is not cheap, so he's not allowed to use it on his arms because it goes too
Yeah.
fast, but he will put that one on his face. There's an Australian gold mineral spray that he will wear on his arms, but I have been struggling to find that one lately. We recently did find another one, and it's a Japanese sunscreen
Wow.
you can get on Amazon. Let me see if I can find a link and I will share it. It's a Nivea water. It's water based, so it is not slimy. It soaks in. We even were able to get it for my father-in-law. Got him to wear some sunscreen and he hates sunscreen. So let me find the link.
Well, we fortunately are able to find an over-the-counter one. So we use the Cetaphil moisturizer for the face that has a sunscreen of 30. That's the only one my autistic daughter will wear on her face, which you can buy at the supermarket. She will use banana boat on her body in the spray, but you do have to rub it in. You can't just spray it. She cannot stand the smell of nearly any other brand of sunscreen. So banana boat, she will tolerate the smell of. So we go
here,
through
this is the
bottles and
one
bottles of it.
right here. This
The
water gel.
The
It is,
Nivea. Yeah, the
yes,
Nivea.
and it does not have a fragrance, and it really does like not, it's not greasy or slimy at all. It soaks in and you cannot even feel it, and it's wonderful. And then
So
the
have you
other one,
tried the regular Nivea brand as opposed to
yes,
the, and he
it's
wouldn't
a
tolerate
no-go.
that.
No.
Yeah.
This is the only one.
Yeah.
And you can't, it comes in like you have, there's two things when you order it. Make sure the first time you order it that you're getting one that has the pump bottle, because it comes in like refill bags that don't seal back up after you open them. So
you
we made
have
the
to
mistake
buy
and got
the
those
pump
the first
every
time, and then we just
time.
had like a Ziploc bag of slime.
Goo.
So
So we were so lucky that at a fairly young age, she learned to tolerate the banana boat. First just in the cream, but now she prefers the spray.
yes.
And
My
you
kids
do have to rub it in. You
prefer
can't
a
just
spray
and
on
go.
the body and a stick on the face. There used to be like a Neutrogena kids wet brand
No, we
that had a
can't use
stick that they
Neutrogena.
like.
She can't tolerate the smell. But
Yeah.
the Cetaphil moisturizer, which comes with an SPF, she can tolerate. And I didn't get any. We used it when we were in Maine a couple of weeks ago on the beach. I got a little sunburn behind my knees, but otherwise we're okay. We were okay with the Cetaphil on the
it's
face.
been a trial and error thing to get sunscreen. My oldest is the most particular about things on his skin, but yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Koala, because it's so hard.
Yeah, the Korean and Japanese sunscreens I have found are much less like greasy. And so it's always been like a texture issue. He doesn't like slimy. And then he doesn't, and then when he's at band camp and stuff, like if it sweats into his eyes,
forget it.
We're over. So
that's why the moisturizer was a real find for us. The Cetaphil, which doesn't make her break out, she has bad acne. The Cetaphil moisturizer with SPF 30 was a real find for us because she doesn't mind putting moisturizer on her face. It's good questions, really good questions. Especially, again, I live at altitude. I'm in Denver, so I'm a mile high. We have to wear sunscreen all year round, even when skiing in the winter.
Especially when skiing in the winter.
Yes.
Because you get it from both sides.
9,000 feet, and it's on your face. And so you have to wear
the worst sunburns I have ever had have been from skiing. It's only right here, but.
Right? But you still have to. Yeah, you have to wear sunscreen even in the winter when skiing up here. Yeah. So it's a big deal. Great questions. Not ones I thought about when we talk about Summer Slump, but actually really good questions. Because my daughter-in-law, when we were at the beach, had a terrible, not even by her eyebrows, had a terrible sunburn right below her hairline. Like she didn't get the moisturizer all the way up into her hairline and had a terrible sunburn on the top half of her forehead.
Hats are helpful too. If your kid doesn't tolerate sunscreen on their face, get them a good sun hat and make them wear it.
Really good hats. Yes. So great questions. I wanted to bring up one more piece in our last little bit here. Great. And that's about recognizing the impact of summer slump on mental health. So summer slump is not just about, I don't want to go outside, it's too hot. And it's not just about I don't want to read. I don't want to do math. This is the summer. I don't have to do schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Nicole already talked about they have to read for half an hour every day. I mean, these are things parents should be doing. In
Mm-hmm.
high school, all my kids, especially the ones in honors and AP classes, had required summer work to do.
Mm-hmm.
In AP classes, they have to write 5 to 10 page papers and have them ready to turn in on the first day of school. My kids who went to 8 week summer camp had to take work with them
Yep.
because they wouldn't have been able to repeat it. They wouldn't have been able to complete it, excuse me, if they only did it in the last 2 weeks. They actually had summer work to do in honors and AP classes in high school. So that part is important. They do have academic work to do. But we have to talk about the impact of mental health. Not being in school in the summer, loss of their regular routine can exacerbate symptoms of anxiety, depression, or even stress, because for our neurodivergent kids, being out of their regular routine is, to us as adults, we're like, cool, no setting the alarm, or, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to see, I don't have to do certain things while I'm on vacation. I don't have to see the boss for 2 weeks, whatever it is. But for our kids, that can actually add to their stress. Don't you agree, Nicole?
Yes, it definitely does. And I think that's kind of what sometimes makes that last little bit of summer so much harder, is that we've worked really hard to keep some sort of routine for a long time
We
for that
start
reason, to
setting
keep
bedtimes,
everybody.
we start setting meal
Well,
times again.
the first 6 weeks of summer, like, we have those routines. We have this thing we do every morning at this time. So everyone's out of bed and we're doing this. And then we've gone to swim team. So everyone's had some exercise. And then we've done our chore, we've got that kind of schedule. But then once all that stuff ends,
Right,
that's when I trying to implement a whole new routine that's only going to be
right.
there for 2 weeks is like, bleh. And so all those routines and things that we've done really well at keeping the structure for the benefit of these kids who desperately need it start to fall apart.
Right,
And that's
right.
when
So
it
I,
gets
I just
really
want
tough.
to tell parents to be aware that summer can be very stressful for our kids, and they could
Mhm.
be hiding it from us
Yes.
because they may feel that that's weird. It's weird
Mhm.
to be stressed in the summer, and that other kids or adults maybe don't feel that way, even though that's not true. Our
Mhm.
kids are very good at hiding their stress and anxiety from us. And some of our kids suck at doing that.
Well,
And
and they may not know why they're feeling that
right,
and
right.
And so they just all of a sudden are more irritable and, they're not sleeping, or they're, and not eating well, and all of that impacts their emotional regulation, and it makes things really tough.
And in summer, we often introduce different foods. Summer fruit is different than their winter fruit. This morning I asked for cherries. I've been having cherries like every day. We had no
Mhm.
peaches. We had no cherries. He's like, we have apples. I'm like, that's not summer fruit. I want something different, right?
And there's no
Um,
peaches and there's no cherries because we had a late freeze in Utah and all the peach stands have nothing this year, and I'm so upset.
Exactly. And we used all our peaches last week for my kids' wedding. They wanted their father's homemade peach jam in little
Mm.
jars as giveaways to give
Oh,
to all
cute.
their wedding guests. So 20 pounds of peaches disappeared into jam. So I had no fresh peaches to eat this
How do you
morning.
make it through August without peaches?
Exactly.
Struggling.
Yeah. So food was different in the summer. And now, with the weather being different, and so things are just different in the summer. Food is different. We grill outside. We have a lot of burgers, and so as September comes back around, we as parents, now school starts in August. Schools have already started here in Colorado. I
Mm-hmm.
have clients in school this week already.
Yeah.
So as routines start again, foods change again, we could expect to see an onset of stress and anxiety in our kids that we as parents must be sensitive to.
Yeah.
We cannot dismiss it, and we have to be ready to ask for professional help.
Yeah,
Just a
that
little
is
heads up.
something we're definitely experiencing in our house with we have a big transition, oldest brother's moving out. He's struggling with some of the stress of what that means, and the other kids are, it's a big transition for our family, and it has been impacting everybody. Um, you know, there's always nerves about starting school and new schedules and new teachers and all of that. And so those transition times then, that adds to that level of stress. So we got to be having those
Yeah,
conversations and giving our kids a little bit of grace if their emotions are not totally in control during that time because their little
yeah,
brains are processing to us, it doesn't feel like maybe it's the hugest deal. Oh, it's just a new teacher. But if we remember when
yeah,
you're 8, it's
exactly.
it's a big deal. Who's gonna be in my class? Everything changes. And especially for our neurodivergent kids, the anticipation of what will it be like is oftentimes worse than the actual transition, right? Like
Yeah.
the unexpected. I don't know how this is gonna work. And yeah, we're definitely feeling that at our house.
Back to school shopping, new backpack, all this stuff
It's
is
exciting, but it's also can really be triggering
excitement
for
can
these
be
kids.
stressful. Right.
Mhm.
So we're balancing here. That's what Summer Slump is about. These last few weeks is I've got to grab the end of my summer. I've
Right.
lost a lot of energy because, wow, I've had so many weeks of camp or vacation and
And
I'm
it's
tired.
102 degrees outside.
And oh my God, I'm not ready to go back to school. So
Mhm.
I hope parents that you've heard us say, keep their mind active, allow them to have some downtime, keep their bodies active within the limits of this terrible weather we're still stuck in, and
Mhm.
don't be afraid to ask for help. Those
Yep.
are the messages we are trying to give you today in this conversation.
And, sometimes just a little bit of validation and that we see you and we know how hard it is. And it was always hard for me in the summers because I had a lot of friends, or I would see a lot of families where it's just like summer's the best, it's just free and we can do whatever we want and blah, and to me summer is the most stressful time of the year because I'm on all the time, and now I'm having to figure out how to, I've got really 2 full-time jobs working from home, and now I've got to integrate all the kids stuff in that and keeping them, and summer is not my favorite time of year. It is not. There are things that I like to do in the summer, and I love hanging out with my kids, but it is not easy. And so understanding that if that's you, if summer's hard and this time of year, especially if you are white knuckling it to the finish line, that you're not alone in that either.
Yeah. See, my kids went away starting at about age 7 or 8 for 8 weeks every summer, basically. They were gone at sleepaway camp from like the second week of June to the first or second
Yeah.
week of August. They were just gone. And then school started second week of August. They came back first week of August. School started the
Mhm.
12th or the 19th. So I loved it. Both my kids gone at the same time.
Yeah.
I had a little taste of
You bet.
empty nesting.
Uh-huh.
And then, they worked. So I loved summer for a long time, for a long
Mhm.
time. But my kids are now grown and, and out of the house. So I have a
Yeah.
little jump on you there.
Yes.
I just work. I mean, I worked like crazy this summer to get my book ready and,
Yes,
you
let's
know,
talk about
and
that
see
real quick before
clients.
we leave. If you
Oh,
haven't seen it
thank
yet,
you. So, the Parenting
Susan's book is
Compass,
out.
Why Smart Teens Struggle, is about parenting twice exceptional and neurodivergent teens, how to help them with A to Z, anything you can think of, literally. That's how the chapters are created. Active listening, bedtime, calendars, executive functioning, emotional regulation, stuff in there about IEPs, disabilities. We're going to start our fall series on IEPs in September. So that will be helping you with getting back to school and everything you need to know about that, Nicole and I.
Yep.
But the book is available on Amazon right now for just 99 cents for the ebook, $12.99 for the paperback. If you're in Colorado, you're welcome to join me this Saturday, the 15th, for my book launch party at the Blue Bonnet, a lovely Mexican restaurant at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Join me live. Get a
So
copy of the
fun.
book and say hello.
The
Thank you
book,
for letting me
of
pitch
course,
that,
it's
Nicole.
such a great resource. We talked about it last week, so if you didn't see last week's, go back and watch it. We go through it in a little bit more detail, but it is a very readable, like immediately implementable tips. Like if
Thank
you
you.
you don't have to read the entire book before you know what to do. You
Thank you.
don't you can just pick it up and there's something in there that you can try that will help. And I love that about it.
I wanted to mention, last time you asked me, everyone asked me my favorite chapter. And
Uh-huh.
today I want to talk about a different chapter.
Okay.
You talked about Z is for zebras.
Yes.
And one of the things I really love about the book, and the reason I ended with Z, the book really is every chapter is a different letter of the alphabet.
So
And the
great.
reason I picked Z is for zebras is because our twice exceptional kids are zebras. And I picked that label because our kids are so unique. And yet, we as parents can learn how to manage our kids where they're advocates, where they're best advocates. And I
Mhm.
want us, and Nicole and I, our whole goal of restarting this podcast a few months ago, after taking some time off, life changes, we came back together to be here for us, because we're both
Mhm.
parents of twice exceptional kids, and for you, all our listeners, parents of neurodivergent and twice exceptional kids, because we have to be the strongest possible advocates for our own kids.
Yep.
We might have great teachers, great occupational therapists, speech therapists, wonderful other people around us that we can't live without. Our kids need all of that village to support them. But we're here as a team, Nicole and I, every Thursday at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, because we want to support all of you, because
Yep.
we're parents of zebras, those special kids. And that's why I wrote the book, to help us.
Yeah. And I mentioned last week, I wish I had this book 10 years ago because
Oh, thank you.
it's and like you were saying why we do this, the biggest thing that has always helped me along the way with my kids is when I have been able to connect and find people who have similar experiences, because there are so many around us who don't, and it can feel so isolating and like we're just always in it alone. And so creating a community and putting this out there just to make sure that you know that you're not alone, you're doing better than you think you are, and that that there's more of us out there that can support each other, I think is the biggest factor in being able to be a good advocate, being able to take care of ourselves is that level of support. So hopefully you find that here, because that's what we're trying to do.
Yes, exactly.
All righty. We
Great.
will wrap things up here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for those that were in the chat. I've seen some familiar faces today that I haven't seen in a while, so that's really fun. It's good to see you back in the chat. If you're on replay crew, we love you too. Put your comments and your questions on the videos. If there's a topic coming up, if there's something you're dealing with, you can put it there, or you can reach out to one of us directly. And we'd be happy to throw it in on a future episode. We want to be able to be here to answer questions that are helpful to you, not just what we think will be helpful. So on that note, we will run the outro and we will see you all next week. Have a great week. And yeah, let us know how things are going and what you're doing to get through the last couple weeks of summer.
Have a great middle of August.
Yes.
Next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. This video is not a substitute for counseling, psychotherapy, medical, or mental health care. The information and advice shared here should not be used in place of any form of diagnosis, treatment, or therapy. Information provided here does not involve diagnosis or treatment of medical or mental or psychological disorders. If you feel the need for professional support, please seek a local professional in your area. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only.